This is Zach here at Deepin Day, Token2049. Super excited to be speaking with James, who is the CEO of Neuron Innovations. Before we kick things off right now, how was the Deepin Day? How did the event go for you?
It was awesome. Like lots and lots of people here. We've met so many people, like people we know, new people we didn't know. We've met loads of founders, we've met investors, and managed to get to speak this morning and tell people everything about Neuron. So that's even better.
Okay, and what made you want to do it here in Dubai?
Well, like Deepin Day is an event that brings everyone in the Deepin space together. And like our first focus at the moment is really on connecting premium data sources into AI agents and software applications. And what better place to come than the home of data and premium data. So we came here, we thought that this would be a great event to tell people about what we're trying to do. Our focus at the moment is really on going through all of these Deepin networks, connecting them into the Neuron network, and then connecting those on the other side to AI agent platforms such as Elisa OS and all of these other virtual protocols and things like that. So yeah, really this event is all about trying to connect people, and today that's what we've done.
For those who don't know, what is Neuron Innovations' goal?
Yeah, so our goal really is about machine-to-machine commerce. So you've got, at the moment, humans are the customer. But in the future, machines and AI agents will be the customers. And when you think of it like that, it's quite profound. Is that we're going to live in an era of abundance under AI that basically means that AI agents and robots are going to be trading with each other, buying and selling services from one another. And how can they do that in a world which is surrounded by credit cards, contracts, and loads of manual processes? Crypto is great because it's programmable money and it enables machines to transact with one another. And with Neuron, if we enter the Neuron software, then basically what this enables machines to do is to discover one another and their services that they provide, connect to one another, transfer value, and then pay each other for those services. And so that's really key in this new agentic and robotic economy.
What do you think makes you guys different from maybe other protocols or companies trying to achieve this? Or would you say that you're a first mover in this area?
Yeah, so I would say that there are sort of three types of networks out there. We're an edge network, and what an edge network does is it connects machines to machines in a direct way. And this is extremely efficient. It also enables those to be sort of self-organizing and independent machines. There's two other ways that we're seeing other people do it. Is let's push everything to the blockchain. And we know that blockchains aren't good for like high throughput, high volume data. They're expensive. They're not very efficient for this kind of thing. What blockchains are great for is for orchestrating, proving, and settling transactions. So if you want to go and connect things together, they're able to prove the order of events, settle the money and things like this. But when you actually want to transfer data between machines, you want to do that in a direct way. So pushing things to the blockchain is not the right way to do it. The second approach you have is the old Web 2 way. Let's pull everything into the cloud and then distribute it from the cloud. And all you're doing then is centralizing the problem. And we're going to go back to exactly what we're trying to escape from with Web 3. We're going to go back to Web 2 with cloud centralized networks. And cloud networks, yes, they're better performance, they're more efficient, but they're not as efficient as edge networks, which enable machine-to-machine coordination. So really, we are the most efficient and the approach that gives you the most control and independence over those machine-to-machine transactions.
Do you think Deepin right now is more reality or more hype?
I think it's a bit of both. Like, I think there's a lot of noise. Like, ultimately, trying to get a real project heard within all of that noise is quite difficult. But ultimately, like, revenue makes a big difference. Like, we're now revenue generating. We've done 650K of revenue, which is also always makes you stand out.
More than most crypto projects.
Exactly. So revenue is key. But also you want to be attracting the right kind of audience to your project. There are, there's a lot of projects out there that can attract, people who are just looking for the next token and the next thing to do. But ultimately, those kind of protocols don't hang around very long. So it depends what you're trying to do. Are you trying to build a network that sort of has a nice peak and then drops off and disappears into nothing? Or are you trying to build something that's sustainable long term and is going to actually provide real value in the world? And we're trying to do the latter. We're attempting to actually change the game on how machines interact with other machines, which is going to create an era of abundance in the world. Elon Musk said that we're going to end up in a situation where you don't have to work, that you'll be able to have everything that you want. You don't.
I heard that, yeah.
And how's this going to happen? This is going to happen with AI and robots. Like ultimately, robots will be building your house. They'll be bringing your shopping to you. They'll be building your products and your manufacturing your products. And when we go and when we have this machine-to-machine economy, we need to have a situation on how do those interact with each other. So this is really important to get to that step. Neuron is essentially solving a peer-to-peer services. Bitcoin came up with peer-to-peer digital cash. We've invented the protocol for peer-to-peer services between machines.
And when you say between machines, what kind of machines does that include?
Sure. So you've got different types. Anything with a CPU, basically. If it's got a computer in it.
It could be a fridge.
It could be a fridge. It could be a smartwatch. It could be a Raspberry Pi. It could be an AWS server. It could be a robot, or it could be an AI agent. These are all machines within this agentic and robotic economy. So really, you've got, a robot may be buying data from sensors. You may have an AI agent giving commands and telling a robot what to do. But really what we're talking about is anything with a compute element in it. And these interactions between all these different machines is what's going to bring it all together. We kind of see three stages to this. The first of which is we call perception. So how do AI agents perceive the world? Well, they do that with sensors. So they use their eye, like humans do. We have our eyes, our nose, our touch. And this is what tells us what's going on in the world. And AI agents is exactly the same. So we're connecting sensors into AI agents. This is step one. Step two is then comprehension. So we've perceived the world, we now need to comprehend it. How do you do that? Well, AI does that, but when you join AI agents to other AI agents who have specialities, like we've seen this mixture of experts approach that DeepSeek came up with. The mixture of experts approach says, well, you can train an AI system to be an expert in one area, and you can train an AI agent to be an expert in another area. But this sort of super intelligence is always going to be a generic AI intelligence. So actually, if you can mix these experts together and join them together into multi-agent systems, you can actually come up with like a super intelligence by doing so. So the next stage...
hive mind.
Exactly.
That's cool.
And that's the same as like a business. Think about a business. You don't have like everyone who's like a generalist. You have people who are very good at marketing, people who are very good at sales, people who are very good at technology, and you bring them together to create a company that the sum of all its parts is better than them individually. So ultimately, what we're trying to do with the stage two is join agents to agents, so multi-agent systems. So that's comprehension. The third area is then, well, once you now know what's going on in the world, you want to do something about it. You want to take action. And so action is all about, well, the AI agent now wants to do something. So how do you do that? Robots. Robots is the next stage. So like a human, we see with our eyes, we think with our brain, and we act with our hands. And this is the full cycle on how a human or how an intelligent species sort of propagate from a thought to an action. And this is really what we're trying to do here, is connecting first of all sensors and data to AI agents, then doing multi-agent systems, and then multi-agent systems to robots and actuators and real-world technologies that are actually going to implement and make our world of abundance, hopefully.
So I noticed you guys are sharing the stage with IONED today here at Deepin Day. Would you say that would you consider them a competitor or a collaborator? How do you kind of view yourself working with other projects in the space?
Like, the space is huge.
Yeah.
And ultimately, like, we're all trying to achieve the same things. I think IONET are working on compute, and that's not really an area we're focusing on, really. We're trying to connect, as I say, data agents and robots.
Well, in any of them, just, in general, do you see yourself as more of a collaborator, or do you see a lot of competition in this space?
I think there's competition, but I think ultimately, like, our protocol is open source. Like, people can use it as much as they want, and we want people to use it because we believe that we've developed a system that is is the right system for this kind of solution. So if people want to use it, they can use it. The bit which we focus on now for our business model is how do you secure this network? If you've got agents and robots all trading with one another, what happens if they disagree as to, oh, you haven't actually given me what I said you would? And this happens with humans. You know, you buy a service from someone and you're like, you haven't actually delivered on what I bought from you. How do you sort of resolve these kind of issues? And this is where we have our validator network. So a validator network is independent, and it can, you know, people can have competing validator networks, but by building this ecosystem of open source protocols, we're basically kind of leading that space, leading that journey, leading that vision. And hopefully our validator network will be the leading validator network within this new ecosystem.
If you kind of look at the next 6 months to a year for you guys, what do you see as some primary goals that you think you would like to achieve?
We're partway through a funding round at the moment, so we'd like to go and get that done as quickly as we can. But we're still currently integrating deep-ins, so data source after data source after data source. We've just shown actually today how we can connect an AI agent to multiple data sources, external data sources, and buy data from them, which is the first time that's ever been done. So we believe that that was a world first in terms of buying data from a remote data source, a private data source, finding them, connecting to them, authenticating with them, and then purchasing that data. But what we're wanting to do is to expand that range of data sources, because ultimately the more data an AI agent is able to consume, the more intelligent it can get. You know, we did a test actually last week, and we showed, like, you know, if you put into Elisa OS and you go and ask it certain questions, it can't give you an answer. And then we connected Neuron into the data sets, and then it was able to say, hi, I don't know the answer, but there's a data set there that could provide me with the answer. Do you want to buy it? And you go, yes. And it connects, pulls in the data, and then answers your question for you. And so this is kind of like the next level of intelligence is, you know, AI agents are already incredibly intelligent, but when we start giving them access to premium data, that's when things go to the next level. So what we really want to be is be seen to be the leading player within the market for accessing premium data and connecting that into all of the major AI agent frameworks. So in 6 months' time, we hope we'll be in that position.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for the amazing interview. I learned a lot, and I highly encourage everyone to follow Neuron Innovations on X, and we'll be seeing more from James soon. Hey, what's up?
But it's not something Gen Z is afraid of.
If you want to survive, you got to build a hive.
No, we do not understand that we do not want.
Ladies and gentlemen.
We're back at the Gen Z Media House.
Oswald, thanks so much for joining us today.